Good afternoon. We begin 13 News at 4 on this Monday with new information in the Delphi murders trial. Today, jurors saw graphic photos of the crime scene for the first time.
Now, the images are very graphic. Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel is in Delphi right now. And Bob, you were in the courtroom as these images were shown.
Jurors were warned during opening statements that they would see bloody photographs and images from what the prosecutor described as a gruesome crime scene. Well, today was the day jurors got to see those images. Inside the Carroll County courtroom this morning, Indiana State Police crime scene investigator Jason Page methodically walked jurors through 43 photos he took at the crime scene. And we want to warn you, what we're about to talk about, it's very disturbing. The pictures include photos of Abby Williams and Libby German lying in the woods. Jurors could see the girl's throat slit. Libby's body was naked, her face covered in blood. Sergeant Page described and showed photos of a nearby spot by the bodies that, as he described, was saturated in the girl's blood. He explained how investigators did their work and the geography and terrain around the crime scene. Some jurors were visibly shaken. One put a hand over his mouth, and then he put both of his hands on top of his head as he saw the pictures. Another juror took slow, deep breaths, shaking her head as she saw the evidence. Abby and Libby's mothers, they were in the courtroom. They cried as the jury saw photos of their daughters. They turned away as several of the most graphic pictures were displayed on a large screen in front of the jury. We also heard from Carroll County Sheriff's Detective Darren Giancola, who was the first law enforcement officer to see the bodies at the crime scene. He explained how the bodies were not really visible from 30 to 40 yards away, and he told jurors he did not attempt any life-saving measures on Abby and Libby because, in his words, it was apparent they were deceased by the time he arrived. After a difficult morning of testimony and evidence, the judge allowed the jury to recess early for lunch. This afternoon, it's back to business with more witnesses and testimony. We'll tell you more about what they have to say coming up on 13 News at 5. In Delphi, Bob Siegel, 13 News.
All right, Bob, difficult details to hear there. We're also breaking down testimony every weeknight at 10 o'clock and then at 9 a.m. after we re-air Sunrise on WTHR+. You can find our Delphi debrief on our streaming app through Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku.